All right, I want to thank you all for coming. Like Mustafa said before, we are going to be going over the contacts tab, the conversation tab, and overall general CRM within the OverPower app. Now, I will be going over the contacts tab, and Mustafa will be showing you the conversation tab later on. But as far as the contacts tab in OverPower serves as a centralized hub for managing your customer. I was saying it's a centralized hub for managing your customers and prospect information. It's where you store, organize, and interact with the people who are interested in or already doing business with your company. Some key functionalities are storing contact details, segmenting contacts, creating smart lists, tracking interactions, creating custom fields, integrating and integration with other tools as well. Now, going into the contacts tab, we are greeted with a long list of names that are associated with our business. These are all the contacts that we have stored over the years and all in just one place. Now, the interesting thing about this tab is that you can select multiple people and filter, or, yep, and basically do some bulk actions with them, whether that be a pipeline change, which allows you to select a pipeline and select a stage that you want these contacts to be in. You can add them to an automation, decide to send them all unified SMS, send them an email, add a tag to all of the selected ones, remove any tags that are on them, delete these contacts, send review requests, basically ask them to get their input. You can export these contacts into a CSV file, or you can alternatively import contacts using Google Docs CSV files as well. Email verification, add and edit to company, and merge up to 10 contacts. Now, Mustafa, do you mind explaining what the merge up to 10 contacts means?
Absolutely. So if you just click on Mustafa Shahid and Daniel Smith, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and click on the merge button, then it will allow us to merge duplicate contacts. If you have duplicate contacts, if you have the same name, but one contains an email address, one contains a phone number, one contains, let's say, Facebook link, one contains an Instagram link, you can combine all of those as one contact. So you would have that one contact as in the conversations tab. You can use that one contact to send out the emails and have all of those separate data consolidated in one place. So when you merge contacts, you can select which field of which contact you want to keep. So for example, if I want to keep the first name of Mustafa, but have the last name as Smith, or for example, if the one in the Mustafa Shahid account, it does not contain a phone number. So I can choose the Daniel Smith's phone number. And when I merge them together, it will show Mustafa Shahid as the first name, last name. The email would be Mustafa Shahid 38 at the rate gmail.com. And the phone number would be as of Daniel Smith, which is +91 201 314 5788. So this in this way, we'll be able to merge multiple contacts. But this example, we have two separate contacts, but this was usually done, or this is always done for contacts which are the same. So if we had multiple Mustafa Shahids in one account with different email addresses, with different phone numbers, we could merge all of them as one, just so that when we are running an automation or we are running an email campaign or an SMS campaign, the same person does not get bombarded with the same email or the same text multiple times. So that's all about merging contacts, and it's done manually, even though it's time taken in the start, but it has a long-term implication of resolving future errors.
Okay, thank you. And moving on, I mentioned earlier that you can make a smart list. Basically, a smart list is just a list of contacts that share some sort of common filter. So if we go over to more filters, and let's type in the filter tag, and let's use the business tag. Actually, let's use the VC caller. Apply. And we see here that we have a whole new list of names that are under the VC caller tag. Now that we have our list of VC callers, we can now make a new smart list that all share the VC color tag, and we could call it VC color. And now that we did that, we have a whole new smart list. As you can see, we have multiple lists already. A whole new smart list of VC color, and it just makes it a lot more organized and easier to access for whenever these are common contacts that we need to contact. And that's not all. We can also make it more general as well. We can set it to where the tags are empty and apply, and basically have a whole list of contacts who have no tags whatsoever, and save it as a new smart list as well. Moving on to bulk actions. Now, bulk actions are basically actions that are used on multiple contacts, and it will basically show you a history of actions that were taken for multiple contacts. So here we see bulk operation type bulk delete. This took place on September 3rd. This basically means that a bulk of contacts were deleted on September 3rd. We can view the status of it. We can view the statistics. It was 100% processed and completed. And for an action, we can restore it, basically removing this action altogether and bringing back any contacts that were deleted beforehand. In this section, you can also filter out based on the action type and the users and status. Moving on to restore. This is contact restore. If there was ever a contact that you did not mean to delete, or a contact that left but now they're an interested client again, you can go here and look them up and restore them back to how they were when they were originally with your company. Moving on to tasks. This section is basically keeps a list of all tasks that are in relation to a contact within your system. So here we see Jeff Powell is assigned a task saying check the Facebook Messenger lead, and the contact that needs to be corresponded with is Mustafa Shahid. This is due on September 4th, and it basically gives us a list of all tasks in relation to contacts. And we can make a new task as well, filling out the needed fields here. Moving on to company, this is basically a list of all companies that are under OverPower Marketing's contact list. And sometimes we need to add a company name because we are contacting a representative of the company. And so this will just keep track of all the companies that we are currently corresponding with. You can also add a new company here using the new company tab. And finally, reaching the Manage Smart List, we can view all of our smart lists that we previously created. We can copy the smart list and paste it to whatever file we need to paste it to. We can share the smart list to any of our fellow employees. So I can hit myself, hit save, and I will be shared the smart list that I just sent. You can also edit the smart list name as well as link the smart list as well. And that generally is all that is for the context tab. I will now pass it over to Mustafa, and yeah.
All right, so moving on to the second most used and the most, I'd say, generic or general use case or feature of the software is a conversations tab. So in front of you, you have the conversations tab in which you have four different categories. The first one is unread. So all of the communication channels in which there are unread emails or unread messages in any sort of a way, all of those would be shown. Then you have the recents one in which all of the emails would show up chronologically according to the time they were received. Then you have the start one in which you can select the favorites that you have. So for example, if you have the owner of different companies or the managers of different companies and you want them to be on top, or you want them to be in a separate column or a separate category, this would be the category where they would be seen. And I am mentioning it over here, just so that if people can't see. And then you have the all one, in which all of your conversations would show up, even if they are unread, even if they have been read, even if they are favorited or not favorited or starred or not starred. So for now, we have just me. I search my name. It's Mustafa Shahid, and I have all of my different contact channels over here. So if you can see in this middle area, I reached out to the company website. I reached out to the company on 3 different platforms. The first one was a Facebook Messenger. If I see over here, I just sent it a message, hi. Then I sent it another message on Instagram, which was again hi. And then I sent out an email to the company, which was, hey, I need some information. The the purpose I'm telling you about this right here over now is because all of those 3 different channels should have been 3 different conversations, but instead they have all been merged into one. So you can respond to Mustafa Shahid over here, be it on Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, or the email. All you need to do is you need to select the button which is shown over here. Do you want to respond via email? Do you want to respond by Facebook DM, or do you want to respond by Instagram DM? You have all of these options over here. So I can just type down, let's say, hey, or hello to you too. So this message would be sent out over Power Marketing's Instagram, and it will be sent to Mustafa Shahid's Instagram account. So I'm just going to click send. Then I'm going to click on Facebook Messenger DM. I'm going to say hello to you from the other side. Hit send. And just to confirm if I have received these individual messages from different channels, let me look into my Instagram and my Facebook. So give me a second. Can I share the screen? I could be able to. So give me a second. Let me just change the way I'm sharing my screen. And I'm just waiting for the infinity mirror to be created, which is here right now. All right. So if I go into my Facebook, I have received a message from OverPower Marketing. Hello to you from the other side. If I go to my inbox over here, I've got another message from OverPower Marketing. Hello to you too as well. So this is the reason, this is the way we can reach out to your prospects or your conversation people in multiple channels, all from the same conversation. So instead of having 3 different separate conversations of Mustafa Shahid, you have all of them consolidated in one. So that's the purpose of the conversations tab. And over here, you can add and edit the missing contact information. So you can include their email addresses if I want. I can enter a new email, or I can just edit the email which is already there. Then by having the validity option enabled, it checked and it validated my email as well. So that it means that this is a proper email. It really exists. Then I can include a phone number. I can change the person whom it has been assigned to. I can add or remove a tag. I can even add it to automations or check which automations am I active in. So if I click over here, I can just choose which workflow I want it to be added to. And if I want it to be added to it as a particular start time, all I need to do is select the date and time. Then if for any reason Mustafa Shahid contact person does not want to be contacted, he has either told you to stop messaging him or told you to stop reaching out to him, you can DND, which is short for do not disturb. And you can select if you want to DND all or DND the calls and voicemails, text messages, Facebook Messenger, emails, or incoming. So those would be the information over here. And from this tab, I can even mark it as a start. I can archive it. I can mark it as unread, so it's in the unread section. I can delete it as well. Or I can just select the filters, and based on the filters, the number of conversations would show up. That would be, if I click on appointments, I can book an appointment for Mustafa Shahid right over here. So if the conversation is going something like, hey, do you have a free slot tomorrow afternoon? I can book an appointment based on that. I can check out if Mustafa Shahid is, which he is, as an opportunity of a value of $642 in the marketing leads pipeline. You can check and you can add it multiple opportunities as well. Then you can even add associated tasks and check which tasks are connected with this contact person. So Mr. Jeff is connected with this person, which you check the lead and it says check the Facebook Messenger lead, which is due in 9 hours. And then I can check if there has been a note being added, or if I need to add any notes. So all of these things can be done on the conversations tab directly. Apart from that, there's one more thing that I wanted to show you in the contacts section. So if I open up Mustafa Shahid over here in the broad view, please open up. Here it is. One of the things that we can do is, as we see, we have these folders, which are the contact fields. So we have the contact ones, which are the, I'll say by default ones. Then we have the custom fields that we have added regarding our business. Then we have the general info one. And then we have the additional info one. Now, if you want your contacts to have a different sort of a layout regarding the contact fields and the folders, all you need to do is you need to play around with the custom fields. So regarding the custom fields, all you need to do is go to the settings on the left-hand side sidebar, click on settings. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see other settings. And the first one is custom fields. So click on that. And then over here, you can start adding folders. So for example, if I want to add a folder by the name of dummy data, or it could be something like important stuff, let's say, and the object is either contact or opportunity. Since this meeting is about the contacts, we are just going to stick with contacts, and later on in the future meetings, I'm going to explain what the opportunity one does and where it is being shown. So right now it would be contact. We can save this. And then if we click on folders, we'll have the important stuff. So we open that one and start adding fields. So the fields that we have is either a single line, which could be a one-liner thing. Let's say which color, no, that would be an option. How do you spend your day? If that's something that can be fit in one line, you use a single line. If it's something that is more of a paragraph, you can use a multi-line. And if it's something like what are your skills or what are your abilities or what are your hobbies, you can have them in a box view. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have the number one, in which it could be something like how much do you weigh? For example, if someone wants to know how much I weigh, all they need to do is add a custom field over here, and the value that will be inputted over here will be numeric. Then we could have a phone field. There already exists a generic or by default field by the name of phone number. So what you can have is, instead of phone number, it could be fax number, it could be work number, it could be, let's say, whom to reach out in the case if you are in an accident. So the first person to be reached out to. I think there's a word for it, but I can't remember it right now. It could be a monetary value. So if you're in a field in which every contact person has something to do regarding money. So for example, it could be what was your last salary, or how much is your current salary, or what claim. You can use that. Then you have the choosing options one, in which you have a drop down. So this particular drop down is for when you have a single option to choose out of a multiple options. It could be a yes no one, it could be an ABCD one, it could be a 1 2 3 4 one. This one is for multiple selections. So if, let's say, someone asks me what is your favorite color, or what are your favorite colors, and I have more than one, I can select multiple one. The radio select is in which the options will be shown in front of me. Instead of having me to click on the drop down, it will be shown in front of me, and I can just click and select on it. Then we have the checkbox, in which according to me is almost similar to radio select. And then we have a date picker as well, in which I can select which date I want. So it could be something like, when did you complete X, Y, and Z, or when was your graduation? I can just select when I graduated. Then we have the file upload, in which we can have the contact person to upload a file, or when we receive a file from the contact person, we can have it displayed over here. So it could be any file we want. It could be a document of employment, a contract of some sort, some legal document, whatever the business requirement is. And finally, we have the signature. So if it's something that we require the signature of the contact person to be saved on file, we could have their signature saved, in which they can just upload a file of their signature, and it would be saved over right here. So for example, in this case scenario, I'll just go around with the single line. This would be, what is your nickname? Its contact. The field placeholder would be nickname equals what? Just for fun. And I'm going to save it right here. Then I'm going to go back into the contact section to see how it shows up. So here we are. We have the important stuff over here, which we just made. What is your nickname? The field, it says what is my nickname, and nickname is equals to what? The placeholder. And I can just say something like Muste and save. I should have saved that instead of clicking enter. But mistakes have been made. Is there my name? Where is my name? Where is my nickname? No, did not save. See, mostly, and then let's save. And now it has been saved. So yeah, that's all there is regarding contact management, conversations, and the possibilities are endless. As we say, regards to everything, even if you're using tags and smart lists, you can create a smart list of almost anything you want. It could be regarding tags, it could be regarding custom fields. So that would be a good thing to show. Give me a second. So for example, if your company has their own personal fields, personal data fields, it could be about anything, not necessarily the default ones, which are the first name, email, phone number. It could be something about when was the first time you visited our company. Did you have you applied with us before? Have you met with one of our representatives? And the questions would be yes and no, whichever one there is. So for example, if I go over here in the filter section, you have the most used ones. Then you have the contact information ones, which are by default. Then you have the contact activity. So the last activity or the last activity type. This could be call, SMS, web chat, whichever the activity type you want. Then you have the opportunity information. So the age of the opportunity itself. So in your, all the opportunities that you have, those are for, okay, I thought someone just joined. All the opportunities that you have, when from the date it gets entered, its age starts growing. So you can have it separate by date. So for example, 3-month-old, 6-month-old, 12-month-old, 2 years old, and you can have separate smart lists. But the ones that I wanted to talk about is the custom field. So the custom field that I just created was by the name of nickname. Nickname. So custom, what is your nickname is not empty. Yep. Apply and save it as a smart list. Name, nickname, save. So over here we have another smart list, which is purely based off on the custom field. So yeah, that would mark everything that is related to contacts and conversations. Is there any questions regarding contacts or conversations? Well, if this meeting has been really fruitful and knowledgeable for you and you have no questions, then thank you for being an amazing audience. I'll hope to see you all next week as well.
No. I got questions.
I,
Um,
I was
so
looking at you.
I just imported a list from Colorado Springs,
Mhm.
and before when I would import a list, it would switch. It would give me that option to put it in the tab, like I have construction, public context. But for some reason, this last one I did, it added all those contexts to this to the new tab, and I was just wondering what did I do wrong?
New tab. You mean it was a separate smart list?
Yeah, it created its own a smart list, but for all contexts
right.
ever created.
All right. Let me show you. So when we go to and click import contacts, we can select and upload a file. Let's say the upload file would be HVAC contractor in Pensacola. We go to click next. The next thing we have to do is we have to map out the fields as soon as it shows up. Hopefully. Yeah. All right. So we have the business name as the company name, phone as the phone, email as the email, additional emails as emails. Then we have the full address. So we would select address, website URL would be website, and so on and so forth. So you can have like Facebook reviews, Facebook star rating, and so on and so forth. And if you have any fields that you do not see over here being matched with the ones you have available, you can create those fields in the custom fields and then retry import in the contacts. Then you just select don't import the data in unmatched columns, and then you click on next. Now, regarding to Forte's question that when he uploaded an contact list, he imported one, it created a smart list. So this is the option which says create a list of contacts from the import. If you have this checkbox enabled, when you submit this CSV file into the CRM, it will create a smart list. So all you need to do is when you're uploading or importing a contact list into the CRM, do not click this checkbox. Make sure that it's not checked on, so that when you import it, it will stay in all category instead of creating its own category. So do you remember if whether you, let me just screen first. All right, so over here. So when you upload a file over here, and then you map out the fields, you have the import name where you can say whatever name it is. That will be the name of the action that you just did. And then over here, you don't need to click on this checkbox. Sorry for the wrong line, this one.
Yeah.
If you have this enabled, it will create a smart list. If you have this checked out or checked off, it will not create a smart list. So do you think that you had this on or not?
Yeah, I had to check.
All right, perfect. And even if you do, what you can do is you can then later on, if you have created a smart list, you can just go to that, you can go to this tab, manage smart lists, and you can just delete it from here. So if I don't want the nickname one, I'll just delete it. Okay, go back to all. So the next question would be, if I delete a list, if I delete a smart list, would the contacts within that smart list disappear? No, they won't, because Mustafa Shahid over here is still here.
Okay.
So just
Nice.
delete the smart list as you want. It will not affect anything at all.
Okay. Okay.
Sounds good?
Perfect.
All right. So thank you for being an amazing audience. And this is it. I hope to see you all soon in the next workshop session.
All right. Thank you very much, Mustafa.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Jeff. That thumbs up is really a great motivator, to be very honest.
All right, very good.